Hi folks, this is Adria, and I'm here to talk to you about my impressions of the Nexus S. I'm very excited that it came. Thank you, Best Buy, for giving everyone free overnight shipping. That really sealed the deal for me, and so here's my Nexus S guide today. I love it! All right, so I have a list of things that I want to go through with you. Everything from my viewpoint as an IT person to someone who's owned an iPhone as their first smartphone for like the last year and a half or so, and my initial impressions of using an Android phone. I've not used one. I've played around with other people's, but nothing serious, right? You can see I'm a little dressed up today. I went to the Zendesk holiday party, so normally I'm in jeans and t-shirt, but not today. All right, so let's go through this list. Now, the first thing is I had an iPhone, but I've always been on T-Mobile, which means I jailbroke my iPhone so that I could have it on the T-Mobile network. But what that meant for me is I was on the Edge network. That meant I could not have simultaneous voice and data. I could either make a call or I could be surfing around on the internet. Now that I have the Nexus S, with T-Mobile, I am on the basically 3G for the bandwidth now, which is, in this case, I did a speed test. I was getting 457 down. Maybe Edge would be like 200. If I were on 4G, that would definitely be several megabytes. And 3G can, of course, vary based on where you're at. But right now, you can see that I'm getting 3G. Right there. So, with that being said, I'm liking the speeds better, and plus the phone's real fast. You know, I haven't really installed any apps. I have installed 3 Twitter apps, but I'm waiting to hear your feedback on my blog post, so let me know what you think. One of the great things about this phone is that you can actually service the battery yourself, right? So you don't have to bring it into the Apple Store when, you know, it seems the battery's always dying. I have to have this plugged in because I have not had 8 hours to charge it yet. One of the other things I want to talk to you about is the case. Now, it's actually a plastic case, right? It's very light compared to some of the other Android phones like the G2, for example. I thought it would bother me, but it's feeling really good now. I got to look at one last week, but now this one's mine. I'm so excited. Now, people have been asking, Adria, why did you go ahead and get this? I mean, why not get like iPhone 4 or whatever, right? Here are a couple of reasons why. One, this has 2 cameras, one on the front, one on this, this could be front, one on this side so you can do video chat, and then one on this side that's HD so you can record things. I took a couple photos tonight, didn't do any video, but I really like what I see. Also, if you got that close-up before, you can see that the screen is really, really crisp. I just have to figure out the right angle for you folks so it can zoom in. There we go. The screen is really crisp. I was doing some zoom-ins on Google Maps, which I'll show you here in a minute. In fact, if we go to Google Street View, I just couldn't believe it. All right, ready to be wowed? I was like in awe. So, all right, so here's Google Street View. I'll just wait for it to zoom in. Yeah, and don't those trees look real? And then basically, you can see the sky and everything. It may not, yes, you see that? That looks really good. And, you know, and if you want to navigate, like let's say we wanted to go down here a little bit, oops. It's a little hard to drive backwards. I'll figure out a way to make this easier in the future so that when I show you things, I can be looking at it while you're looking at it. Anyway, the quality is amazing. I can't wait to watch like a video on here or something. With that being said, I can also do tethering on this phone, so I can have multiple devices connected to this for internet access, wirelessly or with Bluetooth. So that means I can provide internet access like to my laptop, or if I have a Kindle, yep, no need to get that 189 Kindle. You can roll it to 139 if you get this, and then when you need to do updates, boom, right here. Because that's the thing with the Kindle. I was like, why should I get the 139 when it's getting harder and harder to find open Wi-Fi hotspots. So the real reason I got this phone is freedom. I jailbroke my phone, once every 2 or 3 months. And I was jailbreaking for friends. I was jailbreaking for clients. That would be the old days, installing software for people, right? The new way should be everybody should be empowered to just enjoy their own technology. So I got this because it's very open for developers. It's very open for individuals. Here's an example. I was uploading a photo to Twitter, right? And then I wanted to go to my photo gallery, upload a photo I had taken. I saw that it also suggested I could get a photo out of Picasa. And someone else said, yeah, you could probably do Flickr as well. That's huge. That means I have access to my online repositories of these photos I've already put out there and uploaded, right? So it's not just stuff coming from here. With that being said, I am bummed I cannot take screenshots natively. I have to install the SDK like developer package or 2 of them, and then I'll be able to do it. Let me show you how to go ahead and get the battery out, because I was a little stumped by that. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And yes, it really needs to it needs to charge so badly tonight. Let me go ahead and make sure I actually turn it off. There we go. Power off. Your phone will shut down. Okay, goodbye phone. Good night. Enjoy your rest. Alright, so now it's off. And what I found out works really well is a folded up fart card. Because this is plastic, and then you won't scratch it. So basically this is the front of the phone, this is the back of the phone. At the top here, there's this little niche or knob. You want to basically slide this in and slide it up. So that's what I did earlier. And then kind of pops it off. And then there is the battery. Don't have to go to Apple stores, right? And then there's your SIM card. So I'll go ahead and put this back on. There we go. And I'm probably going to get an extended warranty on this just because I end up losing my iPhone. Speaking of which, there are several pieces of tracking software. So in case you were to lose your Nexus 1, you could go ahead and track it. I'm going to be getting several of those. As I'm powering up the phone now and plugging it in, one of the other things I want to talk about are the number of Google apps I use. This is another reason that for me to get this phone. I've been a Gmail user since 2004. I've been using Google Voice since 2007 when it was called Grand Central. Google rolled out a series of domain-based tools known as Google Apps. I've been implementing that for clients since 2006, right? So it only makes sense that I go ahead and get a phone that would basically support all these items. And now, you know, it's very easy for me to get to my Google Voice and just hop around in different stuff. You see here, even though, Amazon has made an app, you know, so for the Kindle, so I can read my Kindle books on here. I've purchased probably about 15 of those. Some other things I want to tell you include Bluetooth. So it'll obviously support a little earpiece, right? But one of the things I wondered with the iPhone is, would it support an external, like, fold-up little Bluetooth keyboard? That would be really nice. It would also be really nice if the Nexus S would do that too. Why? Because, you know, sometimes you're at a coffee shop and who wants to type like this? But if you could attach a keyboard, now I'm not saying a giant keyboard like this, right? And I do know that iPads are supporting the external keyboards, but just something like small that you can, you know, fold up. I had one for my Dell Axum, so why not? Some of the other items on my list here. What I've been doing is going through the store, they call it the marketplace, and figuring out, like, are there apps that are similar to the ones I've already had before, right? Let me quickly talk about the navigation on the bottom. This is go back. This is show me additional menu items. This is search and then home. So those are, what do you call them, the hard buttons or something like that. And then here you have phone, your applications, and there are actually quite a few applications installed. I thought this would be kind of bare bones, but it actually comes with a lot of Google apps, and then you can see my little Twitter apps. I installed the official Twitter client, Tweetcaster, and then TwitDroid. I've also installed Skype as well. Very excited about that, and trying Froyo. This also has voice instructions, so you can actually have it call people or play music and stuff. Talking about music, you may be thinking, well, you can't use iTunes, right? Ooh, not so true. My other roommate told me about this application called Double Twist, which is for PC and Mac, but basically it will extract and copy over your songs from iTunes, and playlists, and ratings. So let me go ahead and show you it. I'm going to go ahead and launch Double Twist. And let's say I go ahead and I pick song, and then I pick, like, shuffle all. That's a Beastie Boys. Stop. Okay, anyway, okay. Oh, and of course, Weird Al. Okay, anyway, yes, I have eclectic taste. Anyway, so that's nice, because now I don't have to worry about, oh my god, I have stuff over in iTunes, how do I get it out? But I am wondering if this will sync back to iTunes. That I'm curious about. Anyway, but for now, it also won't copy over DRM protected things. So you have a couple of options there which you can Google for about how to get around DRM. In fact, iTunes has gone back to not selling DRM songs because they've had so many complaints. So, also going through the store, be careful for fake apps. One of the things I was looking for was Netflix Watch Instantly because they just released that to the iPhone a couple months ago. And it's nice to think that you could watch a movie on your iPhone, although I would not because the battery life sucks. But I saw something like that in here in the marketplace. But then when you read the comments, everybody's like, fake app, don't buy it. And it costs $8.99. Yeah, which would make you kind of think when most of the other apps are free or under $1, oh, maybe it wasn't real. And there's another thing too. When you go to the marketplace on your phone, you're able to search for things. When you go on your browser, you're not. Thought this was interesting. I Googled it. It turns out there are two sites that index and sort of archive the Android market. The first one is called Circuit, C-Y-R-K-E-T, and the second one is called AndroLib. So if you want to kind of search through applications, or like in case of AndroLib, you can say, well, the minimum star rating is, or I only want to search for free applications, or number of downloads, things like that. But it's interesting. All this is very interesting. The other thing too, I want to let you know, the setup of this was extremely easy. I turned it on, and this little Android guy he's been here to like help me the entire time, and he's still here like suggesting stuff to me. There he is, little droid in the corner. Yep, he's very cute. And so, because I didn't really understand how to get the phone going, and there are no instructions. But he's like, there's a little hand, and he's like, touch here. And when you start up the Nexus S, you have the choice of signing in with your Google account, which could be your Gmail account, or you can just skip that and just start using the phone. Let me tell you, it was such a relief to put in the SIM card and have access. No jailbreaking required. I'm just so excited to like try out a lot of the features on here, like the voice and watch video and edit and things like that. You can also add multiple accounts in here, so multiple Gmails. If you have a Microsoft Exchange server at work, you want to do your work email, fine. Google for Business, which used to be Google Apps, actually has added some new features recently to allow remote control of Android devices, things from like remote wipes, password changes, all that. Very cool stuff. So, and Google Apps can integrate with or complement your Exchange server in-house, since they run Postini for their filtering. With that being said, I'm trying to think what other things I want to tell you about this phone that I found interesting, unique, or different. Since I come from an iPhone background for last year, I kept thinking there was a button here in the middle to press. There's no button in the middle. I found where you plug it in, it's like a little tight, right? And I think it's because it's not keyed as much as it seems like for the iPhone. You can always tell when the iPhone's plugged in right. This one? And it's very small. So you may be asking, like, what came in the package, right? In the box. Well, the box wasn't sealed, you know, it came off, it looks very much like the iPhone, in fact, for the box. There's a little droid guy in there. You know, here's the shipping box, right? And then this is what it was sleeping in. And then it came with an extra SIM card, which you should hold on to these because you could be charged as much as $20 for one of these, or they may give them to you free, but hold on to this for later activation. Terms and conditions of the warranty, health and safety, warranty information. It came with a pair of headphones as well, which I have not tried. My roommate also gave me this very cute little Android snowman. I'm not sure. It's not something you can just like get, but wherever he works at Google, so thank you. Put that over there. But yeah, so I had not got a new phone in 3 years from T-Mobile. Last year I was going to get the Nexus one, but they, you know, it was not easy for an existing T-Mobile customer to get one. So I gave up. I already blogged about that. But this one worked out perfectly. And so I want to say thank you, Best Buy. Thank you, T-Mobile. Thank you, Google. Because now I have this great phone, which I feel is just going to be a huge asset to me being even more productive. So that about wraps it up. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you in the future. I'm going to be talking about some of the apps that you've recommended for me to try. Okay? Take care.